It is a lovely Friday. Welcome to today's edition of the show that gives you the news making headlines in Namibia and beyond. This is NMH at 1, and taking you through this daily lunchtime news broadcast, I am Diana Master. In today's news, an Omusati region businessman speaks about the recent incident of assault on an elderly woman in northern Namibia. Namibia Local Business Organization Vice President Kani Amadilla gives an introduction of the recently established lobby group. We take a look at hip and happenings events on the social calendar with our in-house entertainment journalist, Michael Kayunde. International news, sports updates, and more lined up. This is NMH at 1. In today's midday news update, the official launch of the African Child Development Trust took place in Windhoek last night. Hundreds of thousands of learners are set to benefit from the newly launched trust that is aimed at raising funds for the production and distribution of educational booklets for pre-primary to grade 3 learners for the next 3 years. The initiative began as an emergency response during the start of the pandemic and came into being in 2020 when Namibia Media Holdings was entrusted with the rollout of study material during the COVID-19 lockdown. So far, 12 million booklets have been printed and distributed countrywide. Stay with us as we bring you more local news across the regions after this ad break.
As the patron of Africa Child Development Trust and the minister responsible for education in the Republic of Namibia, it is my honor and privilege to officially launch the trust. And may I invite the trustee to join me on the stage so that I declare this trust launch. I thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Honourable Deputy Minister Festina. That was an inspirational speech indeed, and here is the reveal.
A distinct honor to declare this trust tonight launched. Thank you.
From 2020 to 21, as previously said, we've reached over 360,000 children daily in 12 languages in all 14 regions, over 12 million books. We spent over 50,000 hours in development time to make this happen. We traveled more than 1.2 million kilometers in this time to make sure that we reach every corner of this country on a daily basis. We reached over 900 schools, over 500 ECDs, which for the record is about 60% of all the childhood development children, but yet there are still 2,000 ECDs we haven't reached, the smaller ones. It's a real challenge to get to everybody. We spent and designed, Teacher Mutse was earlier here, she's been the voice of SOSI. We've made over 18,000 minutes of online training. Yes, we do recognize and we do acknowledge that the future is online. But far too often, funders, individuals, people live for tomorrow and forget about today. The reality on the ground is that reach online does not reach 5% of the children. So 95% of our children are dedicated and required to reach through print. The irony is print is still the best way to learn. The concept of motion and pen and paper is extremely powerful and extremely important. We have spent a lot of time on the academic side of this education, and the project is where it is. But we have to be fair. Education is a lot more than just going to school. It requires us to have an holistic approach on education, the social, emotional, cognitive, and physical needs. And that's why NMH, Namibia Media Holdings, have realized that this project, and trust me, we've done a lot, requires more input. It requires bigger input. It requires more people to be involved. This project is too big for NMH. And yes, we have traveled 1.2 million. And yes, we have printed 12 million books. And yes, we do reach 360,000 children every day.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at what's in today's video news. Peter Nakanyala, owner of LIPD security company, joined the police to arrest 19-year-old Teresia Ndalila Mwishininga, who is accused of assaulting her 70-year-old grandmother in the Omusati region. He said that he joined the police because he was touched when he saw the video circulating online. We should help our parents and not hurt them, he said. He spoke to Tuyemo Haidula. Let's have a look.
Yes, and my name is Peter Nakanyara, and I'm owner of Peter Security and LIPD Security. I'm from Mushagati.
What does this case mean to you? Why did you take this case personal?
It's very heartless. It's very hurting to everyone, to all the Namibian people. That's why I take this case up, because the elder, they have no strong, they don't have power to defend themselves. So as a youth, they can kill the elders. So it's something just hurting us, everyone in the country. Yes. To hurt them, but to help our parents, especially to those we have elders in the houses, because most of people, we don't have elders. They are our people. They are our elders. They are the one who taking our mothers, our fathers from the childhood till we are here, till we come in. So the youth must just take care of their elders. And then I'm urging to everyone in Namibia who have seen this happening to your neighbors or to your village, please do contact the nearest police station or give us information so we can launch this arrest like this one. Thank you.
In this next clip, Namibia Local Business Organization Vice President Kani Amadilla gives an introduction of the recently established lobby group to President Hage Geingob. Naloba was formed by former members of the Namibia Chamber of Commerce and Industry who felt it was not advancing their business needs. Ogonetlage was there.
Local Business Association recently registered registration number 21/2021/1289 is an all Namibian native business association incorporated in the Republic of Namibia. Fully registered and legally compliant. The association is abbreviated as NALOBA. Therefore, in most cases, you will just hear NALOBA, NALOBA here, NALOBA there. That is us. NALOBA is a non-profit making association, non-politically affiliated. We're not politically affiliated. Non-tribalism. We are not tribal. We do not promote tribalism in our association. We represent all businessmen and women countrywide, and our composition here testifies it. And we are a business association of our own. We are not in competition with any other existing association or organization or any other body. We are an association of our own.
Thank goodness it's Friday, and if you don't have any plans, maybe some of the hip and happening events on Michael Kayunde's Weekend Gig Guide would spark an interest. Let's have a look.
Hello NMH at 1 viewers, welcome to another exciting edition of the Weekend Gig Guide with me, Michael Kayunde. So to begin with, you can look forward to chill sessions right here on Namibian Sun tonight at 1900 hours on Namibian Sun's Facebook page. Also moving along with other events that you can expect this weekend. Let's take it to the far east of the country, Rundu. This weekend they are going to be having a festival at Sisindi Lodge. The festival is taking place from today to Sunday, that is from the 18th of March to the 20th of March. You can look forward to performances by Tate Buti, DJ Kiki, as well as Ethnics. And for those that are in Windhoek, you can catch DJ Vuyo tomorrow at Access Lounge, where they are going to be having a Zambezi night. So that's some of the events that are taking place this weekend. If you're wondering what's happening, what's hot and happening, and you're not sure where to go to, please make sure you make a 10 at one of those events. So from me, Michael, until next time, it's bye-bye.
Sure sounds fun. When we return, we will be taking a sneak peek inside Namibia's daily print publications. Don't go away. Thank you for staying with NMH at 1. We now take a look at what the lead stories are in Namibia's daily newspapers. In the Namibian Sun, Ogonetlage reports that tracks are widening within Namibia's business community as the cake continues to become smaller, due in part to current economic conditions. On 25 February, northern-based business owners announced the establishment of the Namibia Local Businesses Association in Ongwediva. Members include powerful business personalities like Erastus Chico Shapumba and David Kambwa Shihama. From inside the Namibian Sun, a report about a bill aimed at reforming the divorce law in Namibia will be shared with the public today for input. Work to improve Namibia's divorce law began almost 20 years ago in 2004. Moving on to the Republican, Elvira Hatting reports on the bail hearing of 65-year-old Marietta Wilhelm, who was attacked on her farm outside Grootfontein Tuesday morning and allegedly killed. The attacker was postponed until 24 March. She appeared in court with a knee brace and crutches and bandages on her forehead and arm. She said she was experiencing problems with her kidneys and had not yet been discharged from hospital. And then on the page 3 of the Republican, there's a lovely report by Tanya Baus on a group of ladies from the Senior Park Retirement Village in Windhoek that have decided to plow back into the community by establishing the Sunflower Knitting Club. On the front page of the Algemeine Zeitung today, Erwin Lushna reports that following a brazen attack on 2 farmers near Omaruru, the police arrested 3 suspects. According to police spokesperson Erastus Ikuyu, they are looking for 6 other suspects who are known to them and are likely laying low in Swakopmund. According to Ikuyu, it was originally 4 men who struck at the farm Ochumue near Ochimue North near Omaruru. The men showed up at the farmhouse around 8 p.m. on Sunday night pretending to have car problems. Again, in Allgemeine Zeitung, it's being billed as a new partnership, but one that's set to become the norm nationwide. The Namcor Pit Stop petrol station, which includes a Pick and Pay Express supermarket, was officially opened in Swakopmund yesterday. It is the first franchise of this chain in Namibia. We now take a quick ad break before moving on to other daily newspapers in Namibia. On the front page of the Namibian today and days before we celebrate independence, a report on the young girl who 32 years ago read a poem to founding President Sam Nujoma. Her name is Hilia Taushia. From inside the Namibian, there's a report on how the Hambukushu Traditional Authority are threatening a lawsuit over the Bwabwata National Park. Moving on to the New Era front page, a report on how local banks are being probed for alleged discrimination while also being accused of unreasonably high and unfair prices. And from inside the New Era, a report on how Works and Transport Minister John Mutorwa has recommended the decentralization of some administrative functions to allow government garages in the regions to function optimally. And finally, from the entertainment front, Michael Kayunge chatted to singer Akowune, who says she's ready to win over new fans, one song at a time. Read more in today's edition of Namibian Sun. In today's edition of Careers in All NMH Dailies, Junior Kapofi spoke to Nicolette Bessinger, the director of Lifeline Childline, who has 25 years of experience when it comes to working with NGOs. In today's edition of Market Watch, Philippus Usiku reports on supply-side factors that make inflation difficult to control. More on inflation, and the economy when we return. We highlight the latest happenings in the world of economics. Stay tuned.
Have you received a loan from NSFAF? NSFAF loan is the same as any other loan. It must be paid and settled. NSFAF has a set of guidelines on how you can repay your loan and become debt-free. Therefore, it is important that you, a former beneficiary and a responsible Namibian, show your patriotism by helping pay back your loan and thus helping NSFAF become a revolving fund for the benefit of future potential students. By failing to pay back your NSFAF loan, you risk being blacklisted or having a court order against you. So arrange with the fund to pay back your loan today. For more information on how you can repay your loan, visit our website at www.nasfaf.na or visit our Facebook page or Twitter. Do the right thing and hashtag #paybackthemoney.
Welcome back. In today's economic news, Namibian commercial banks at the end of last year had a stock balance of 179 million Namibian dollars worth of repossessed items, an 87% increase from 95 million Namibian dollars at the end of 2020. This massive increase also comes at a point when most borrowers from the banks are unable to service their loans. Loans in the red for more than 3 months, or which the banking sector calls non-performing, were at 6.7 billion Namibian dollars at the end of last year. This was around 6.7% of the 105 billion Namibian dollars consolidated loan book at the banking industry in Namibia. Data from the central bank indicate that the Commerce region has the most defaults at 5.2 billion Namibian dollars. In an economic cycle where prices are going up, women's clothes and children's shoes are defying the norm. They are now cheaper compared to a year ago. According to February 2022 statistics released by the Namibia Statistics Agency, the prices of these items are down 3.4% and 4.9% respectively, and are recorded the highest deflation for the month. Men's clothes were also down by 3.1%, while children's clothes were 1.8% more expensive than they were a year ago. And for those who can afford flights, tickets are also cheaper than they were a year ago, down by 3.2%. Overall, the price of an average consumer basket went up 4.5% in February this year compared to February last year. We now take a look at the latest economic indicators. The Namibian dollar has lost power against these four major currencies, with 16 Namibian dollars and 55 cents needed to obtain €1. MTC shares have increased in price on the NSX, with one share now trading at 7 Namibian dollars and 86 cents. A decline in the stock prices of Paratus Namibia Holdings and SBN Holdings, with local index going down by 1.5%. Brent crude oil up by 7.15%, while other commodities have also increased in value, zinc which has gone down 0.12%. We return with news from Mozambique, where a human trafficking kingpin and a number of illegal migrants were arrested. Stay with us for this and more stories from the African continent after the break. We now take a look at latest news in our neighboring countries and later on extend to the rest of the globe. South African authorities confirmed that police arrested a human trafficking kingpin and 42 illegal migrants from Mozambique on Wednesday. Police spokesperson Selvi Mohlala said officers intercepted 3 minibuses with the illegal immigrants along the Carolina-Amsterdam road near Loth Air on Wednesday morning, acting on intelligence information. It was later discovered through further probe that someone funded this mission of transporting the said people, possibly to work as laborers in Durban, he added. Police then arrested a 39-year-old man believed to be the kingpin in this human trafficking. The 43 will appear in court soon, facing human trafficking and other charges. Still in Mozambique, authorities in Mozambique's central region issued a flood warning following reports of moderate to heavy rains that continue to push up the water level of river basins in the region. According to a press release issued by the Regional Administration of Waters, the Zambezi, Pungue, Buzi, and Savannah rivers could overflow, causing flooding that may interrupt road access and damage infrastructure and farmland. Water authorities urged the public to leave areas at risk of flooding while the situation is being monitored. Mozambique is at the end of the rainy season, which usually lasts from October to March. Our next story takes us to Cameroon, where Mali's military rulers are to take 2 French broadcasters off air in the country after accusing them of reporting false allegations. Both RFI Radio and France 24 Television, who receive funding from Mali's former colonial ruler France, will not be accessible in Mali for an undetermined time. Mali government spokesperson Kol Abdoulaye Maliga said that these false allegations were made in reports on 14 and 15 March, in which RFI gave the floor to alleged victims of abuses allegedly committed by the Malian army and the Russian mercenary group Wagner. When we return, many foreign countries are relaxing migration laws to accommodate Ukrainians during these tragic times. Saudi Arabia is amongst these. Stay with us for international news. Saudi Arabia issued a royal directive extending tourist and business visas of Ukrainian citizens without fees or fines for humanitarian considerations, state news agency SPA said earlier today. The extension will be automatic without the need to visit the immigration authorities. The latest update on the war, Reuters reports that one person was killed and 4 wounded after parts of a Russian missile fell on a residential building in the northern part of the Ukrainian capital, Kyiv, this morning. The services said in a statement that 12 people were rescued and 98 were evacuated from the 5-story building. The Pacific island nation of Samoa sealed its borders today as it entered a nationwide lockdown after recording its first case of COVID-19 in the community. The government issued an emergency order suspending all international travel by air and sea in the wake of the positive case which was detected on Thursday on the main island of Upolu. About 90% of Samoa's population is fully vaccinated against COVID-19, according to government data. Samoa and several neighboring Pacific island nations have been among the last places on Earth to avoid outbreaks of the coronavirus since the pandemic began 2 years ago. But the more transmissible Omicron variant has made it more difficult for countries to avoid cases. Now we move over to sports news, where we explore the possibility of Namibia hosting the AFCON. Stay with us.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, welcome to another exciting edition.
Welcome back. The Namibian government was approached by Botswana to co-host the 36th edition of the African Cup of Nations in 2027. And according to those in the know, it looks like Cabinet has given the green light. The Richelieu franchise T20 series takes place for the 3rd year in a row and will see 4 Namibian franchise teams battling it out for top honors over the next 2 weekends. The tournament starts today at the Trustco United Field and continues with matches tomorrow and Sunday at the same venue. The Helao Nafidi Town Hall will be the place to be this weekend when the Together as One Part 6 Independence Boxing Bonanza takes place. We take a look at the international sports scene. Rafael Nadal is a name you can't ignore when speaking about tennis. When we return, we talk about his most recent win and more. We now take a look at the international sports scene, and we start with tennis news, where Rafael Nadal remains on top of his game. Rafael Nadal beat Nick Kyrgios in a tumultuous quarter-final clash at the Indian Wells WTA and ATP Masters on Thursday to extend his perfect 2022 start to 19-0. Everton manager Frank Lampard broke his hand amidst wild celebrations of Alex Iwobi's 99th minute strike to beat Newcastle 1-0 and lift the 10-man Toffees 3 points clear of the Premier League relegation zone. The Clásico on Sunday will likely have very little bearing on the current season for either Barcelona or Real Madrid, but it should set the tone for the next one. Atletico Madrid's limp title defense, Sevilla's late fade, and Barca's miserable start have all helped ensure Real Madrid, now 10 points clear at the top of La Liga, will almost certainly be crowned champions in May. You're still watching NMH at 1, and in case you missed it at the start of the show, we have you covered. We will be right back with the highlights after this short commercial break. Stay tuned.
Choose your Flex package with Paratus today. Sign up for ultra-fast fiber with the convenience of mobile LTE. That's 2 products in one bundle. It's new, it's one bill, and you can stay connected in more than one location.
For more information, visit paratus.africa/NA.
Always prepared. Paratus.
Welcome back to NMH at 1. If you have just joined us, here are the news highlights. The official launch of the African Child Development Trust took place in Windhoek last night. Hundreds of thousands of learners are set to benefit from the newly launched trust that is aimed at raising funds for the production and distribution of educational booklets for pre-primary to grade 3 learners for the next 3 years. So far, 12 million booklets have been printed and distributed countrywide. Let's take a look at the highlights from the main event. South African authorities confirmed that police arrested a human trafficking kingpin and 42 illegal migrants from Mozambique on Wednesday. Saudi Arabia issued a royal directive extending tourist and business visas of Ukrainian citizens without fees or fines for humanitarian considerations, state news agency SPA said earlier today. The Namibian government was approached by Botswana to co-host the 36th edition of the African Cup of Nations in 2027, and according to those in the know, it looks like Cabinet has given the green light. Rafael Nadal beat Nick Kyrgios in a tumultuous quarter-final clash at the Indian Wells WTA and ATP Masters on Thursday to extend his 2022 start to 19-0. Namibian commercial banks at the end of last year had a stock balance of 179 million Namibian dollars worth of repossessed items, an 87% increase from 95 million Namibian dollars at the end of 2020. Those have been your news highlights. Thank you for staying with NMH at 1 and spending your lunch hour with me, Diana Master. Remember to join us Monday through to Friday at 1 p.m. as we take you through the latest happenings in Namibia and beyond. Stick around for our regional review segment, which features news from across the regions and in Namibia. And with that, we've come to the end of the show. From me and the rest of the team, enjoy your weekend.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, welcome to another exciting edition.
Choose your Flex package with Paratus today. Sign up for ultra-fast fiber with the convenience of mobile LTE. That's 2 products in one bundle. It's new, it's one bill, and you can stay connected in more than one location.
For more information, visit paratus.africa/NA.
Always prepared. Paratus.
Good day, viewers. Welcome to another episode of Regional Review. Today's episode is a regional recap, where we look at what stories happened in all over the country, in all of the corners of the country, and we are going to be looking at different stories brought from our regional correspondents that work for Namibia Media Holdings and they contribute to Regional Review. My name is Tunole Mongoba once again, and stay tuned for another fun-filled and information-filled episode. Back into our news segment, we are going to start off with the South, where our correspondent Monique Adams brings us a media visit, a media engagement, a media briefing with the NAMRA Commissioner Sam Shivute, who concluded their visit in the South by having this media briefing with media practitioners and journalists from the southern part of Namibia. Monique Adams from the South brings us this story.
That meeting with non-Uvel staff started from about 8 o'clock in the evening until 11 o'clock, and just again getting to know the staff, understanding the challenges, and also determining the work environment in which they are operating. And on Wednesday, the 9th of March 2021, we had a very successful stakeholder engagement with stakeholders in Keetmanshoop, where the business community turned out in big numbers, and also politicians, the leadership of the southern region, talking about the governor, the chairperson of the regional council, and the mayor, all turning out, and other taxpayers as well. Then, of course, yesterday we visited our offices in Rudret and also engaged with the staff. Overall, I'm very happy to report that the regional visit by NAMRA's management to the southern region was very successful, in that we were able to familiarize ourselves with the operations of our offices. We were able to determine the challenges that the officers are experiencing, and also by engaging with the stakeholder and really understanding the challenges that they are facing with Namibia Revenue Agency or with our systems like integrated tax administration system. That was very helpful. It's now for us to go back to Windhoek and do everything which is possible to ensure that some of those challenges are addressed. But whilst we are also at those challenges, what are some of our observations? Our observation, especially at the border, what we have observed is that there is an issue of sometimes lack of resources. And when you talk about lack of resources, this is basic things like officials working and maybe there is no aircon, or official, when they have to do their customs inspection duty, they have to do it in the sun, and sometimes they are not having sufficient resources, or sometimes just to having even a printing copy machine for them to be able to do their work. So we now very much aware of those challenges, and it's for us to make sure that those challenges are attended. But also one of the challenges that you would have at the border is that of at our borders you have many agencies that are operating there. You will find maybe RFA, Meat Board, Health Port, those dealing with Health Port, officials, representative from the Ministry of Agriculture. Then of course you have the Namibian Police and Custom officials from NAMPO. But these officials, they are kind of not really working in a coordinated manner. The World Customs Organization, they have always recommended the border coordinated border management framework to be implemented, where these colleagues or agencies that are working at the border, they should not work in silos. They have to work in a coordinated fashion, so that if one get searched maybe by custom, by that time the police must also be there, and all other border agents as well. So one of our strategic objectives is that of enhancing trade facilitation, and therefore we need to make sure that there is an efficiency and the service delivery is improved at the border, so that trade could be facilitated easier. You do not want trucks and transporters spending more time at the border. Instead, they must be in the road so that they can deliver goods and service to our people. So overall, I would be I'll be able to say that I think the visit was very successful. We do understand, especially those that are during the stakeholder engagement, those clients that are experiencing challenges with our system. We were able also to update them that our systems, we are doing everything possible to make sure that our systems are operating optimally.
For our second story, we are going to the Kavango East region, where our correspondent Kenya Kambowe tells us about a female pensioner from Kasivivi in the region who continues to fear for her life after her son-in-law threatened to kill her. The man is accusing the pensioner of being a witch who he thinks is responsible for the death of his daughter, who died on New Year's Eve. Quite a sad story. Here is Kenya Kambowe with more.
In our news segment, our first story is that of a witchcraft accused pensioner from Kasivi village in the Kavango West region is unable to leave her homestead after her son-in-law recently threatened to kill her. He blames her for his daughter's death. Earlier this year, Namibian Sun reported that 6 people, including a teacher, were arrested after they burnt down a cooker shop belonging to Sindimba Laurencia Nepembe, whom they accused of bewitching her own granddaughter who died on New Year's Eve. They appeared in the Kaenge Periodic Court in January facing various charges. However, Namibian Sun has been informed that they are all out on bail. The allegations of Nepembe being a witch emanated after the father of her late granddaughter approached a self-proclaimed prophet from Rundu who prophesied that the child died because she was being bewitched by her grandmother. At the time, the community took matters into their own hands and set fire to Nepembe's cooker shop. Namibian Sun understands that the 6 accused are close to the father of the late child. In that article, Namibian Sun reported that the pensioner fears for her life after threats that the accused would kill her. This week, she echoed the same sentiment, saying that she was confined to her homestead out of fear. Nepembe said 2 weeks ago, while sitting in the floodplain of Kavango River with her 19-year-old daughter, crafting traditional baskets, the father of her late granddaughter appeared out of nowhere and allegedly threatened to kill her. She said she immediately packed her belongings and rushed home. Ever since that day, she no longer goes to the river on her own.
Lastly, this is a story that definitely broke the hearts of many Namibian people, as gender-based violence and violence against women and children in this country continues to rise. Enzo Amwele from Ochivarongo brings us the story of Velemina Heinz, the mother of 20-year-old Daffy Heinz, whose lifeless body was delivered to her house on Saturday morning over the weekend. She narrates what transpired on that specific day, the relationship that Daffy had with her previous partner, and what young people can do to prevent these things from happening. Here's Enzo Amwele with more.
Beto ba di to. Nga ho ta ke khiri di, ta ke sai ke go. Amsna. Sai ke go, ta ke. Sai ke ango ba gina. Ango ba gina. Sai ke no roi. Na tra ke ni ka. Ma do ta kweza ke o. Ta ka kon ma kweza. Ko yo kuma kon na. Tigi ani. Ta ke na uno. Sai ke sita wa da ke ani ya me. Mun chuma kwesti. Skene kweza na ugo o ka ba de ma ya ai tena. Quest hours of mucha masaza. Tira que ngang ayamsi. Sagra que se cuesta que no. Tinan tun que cuesta. Iyo tinan tun.
Eso no es que me van a dejar de
Sakin abajo. Sakin abajo dia. Aba que cae.
Africanso.
Tae da que van kwa cuesta. Tae que mani ama.
Tae que todo que no me gusta.
Tae kwa de cuesta la vida. Sa kweza kuitwa dagira mu merana. Sage kweza ndiki tsana. Tsana ta kweza. Sikweza kena, sikweza mas to chabi kuke. Sage tsane sage take. Ese emka kaimare. O kwestina sa ko ta kuisa. Asenta. Kaskera dige meta ge mese kamera ge kaimare. Ikedi. Sage o kwestina kuisna. O asu ko hawo. Sa ko ta ku kuyi. Bangizim eyes ignoy kuna ge kaima. Si amainke. Ngaba ko da isa ge mukoza. Tipken iba. Ke I haruki ge nekaka. Tipken sin ngaba tipken san wada sira pelga hiya. Iba nekaba ko ge. Tipken no age ka. Tipken. Ya. No kaima kwesa. Terapi. Kais komnio. Tai hasmatin oma. Ora que te arami, ma kwesa, mas ni kaima. Agos o akoi kwa kaima gabi. Okeni do kugi ko skwen ge mai kapka. Ti ka ba ga ti sel bona ge uta ge mi ti na ho na ra pele ta ge na hauti sel bona. Mi ti sel bona ge ti na da ho ge mi ikra tor ge ge ti. Na ba ho to.
It's sunny and hot at Ungwediva at the moment, but the clouds will start banking on Saturday with stray showers expected on Sunday. Rundu is partly sunny and pleasant with showers expected as from tomorrow until Tuesday. Otjivrongo is partly sunny and mild with clouds banking on Sunday and some rain expected on Monday. Low clouds are expected at Marine till tomorrow, but will clear thereafter before sunny and hot temps are expected next week. Karasburg is sunny and hot at the moment, but afternoon showers are expected tomorrow, whereafter it will clear until Tuesday.
Thank you so much, viewers, for tuning into another episode of Regional Review. I will be seeing you next week on your screens again on Monday, where we discuss what transpired in the far north region, and it's going to be another interesting episode. So from myself, Tunole Mungoba, and the rest of the Namibia Media Holdings team, it is goodbye.